There are moments in life when we suddenly pause in the middle of all the rushing and ask ourselves, what truly matters? Modern life pulls us into an endless cycle of work, worries, and achievements. And yet, the more we chase, the more empty we sometimes feel. But over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha offered a clear path, a way of living rooted in wisdom and awareness. He called it mindfulness. Mindfulness is not something distant or complicated. It is simply the ability to be fully present, awake in this very moment. Today, even modern science confirms what the Buddha taught long ago. Mindfulness reduces stress, increases happiness, and can even reshape the brain in positive ways. In this video, we will explore 7 Buddhist principles of mindfulness, timeless gems that anyone can practice. Some are as simple as taking a conscious breath, while others invite us to see deeply into impermanence and letting go. Each principle opens a doorway to greater peace and clarity within. And remember this, the final principle, the 7th one, is not just another teaching. It is the key that unlocks a profound way of seeing yourself and the world. Stay with me until the end, because this last one may change the way you understand happiness forever. Principle 1. Mindful breathing. There is something truly miraculous that we often forget: the breath. From the very first cry at birth until the final moment of life, we breathe without pause. Yet most of the time, we hardly notice it. That is why the Buddha taught, return to the breath with mindfulness. At first glance, it seems too simple, but the breath is the bridge between body and mind, between restlessness and peace. Notice how, when anger rises, the breath becomes fast and shallow. When anxiety overwhelms us, breathing turns tight and heavy. And when we breathe deeply, slowly, with awareness, the mind naturally calms. Just a few conscious breaths can transform a storm inside into a still lake. A small Zen story tells of a student who came to his master, distressed by constant worry and anger. The master smiled and said, "Each time your mind is shaken, breathe 3 times. The student was surprised. "Just that?" The master nodded. "Yes. But if you really practice, you will discover its power." And indeed, after some time, the student found that simply remembering to breathe was enough to keep him from being swept away. Mindful breathing does not require hours of sitting meditation. It can be practiced anywhere, while walking, while waiting at a red light, even while washing dishes. Try it now. Inhale and silently say to yourself, "I am breathing in." Exhale and say, "I am breathing out." That simple awareness is enough to bring you back home to the present moment. Neuroscience confirms this ancient wisdom. Studies on conscious breathing show that slow, deep breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation response. Heart rate slows, stress hormones decrease, and the mind becomes clearer. In just 2 or 3 minutes, mindful breathing can reset your entire state of being. One common practice is the 4-6 breath. Inhale gently for a count of 4, exhale slowly for a count of 6. Close your eyes and try it. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel the chest rise and fall, the life energy moving through you. After a few rounds, notice how the body feels lighter, the mind more open. The breath is also a reminder of life's preciousness. Every inhalation is a gift of life. Every exhalation is an offering back to the universe, and no one knows how many breaths remain. When we realize this, we no longer take breathing for granted. We begin to feel gratitude with each breath. Imagine beginning your day with 3 mindful breaths instead of reaching for your phone. Sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and smiling softly as you whisper, "I am alive. This day is a gift." Such a simple practice, yet it changes the quality of the whole day. The Buddha once said, "Mindfulness of breathing is the direct path to awakening." Because when we return to the breath, we are no longer trapped in the past or lost in the future. We are here, fully alive, touching the miracle of the present moment. The beauty of mindful breathing is that it does not require belief. You do not have to take it on faith. Just try it, right here, right now. And as you breathe with awareness, you will discover the truth for yourself. This is mindfulness, not a concept, but a lived experience. Principle 2, observing the mind. Have you ever sat quietly, only to realize that inside your head runs a river that never stops? Thought after thought, memory upon worry, plans mixed with desires. This is the nature of the human mind, a restless machine generating thoughts without pause. Most of the time, we mistake this constant stream for who we truly are. The Buddha offered a different way. Observe the mind. Instead of being swept away by the current, sit on the riverbank and watch it flow. When sadness appears, simply notice, "Ah, sadness is here." When desire arises, acknowledge, "Ah, there is wanting." With that simple recognition, you are no longer trapped inside the thought. Zen teachers often compare thoughts to clouds drifting across the sky. Sometimes the sky is crowded with heavy clouds, sometimes clear and bright. But the sky itself, vast, spacious, unchanging, is always there. The same is true of our mind. Thoughts and emotions pass through, but beneath them lies a still awareness. Observing the mind is learning to live with the sky, not to be imprisoned by every cloud. A teacher once shared his experience. During meditation, old memories kept surfacing in his mind. At first, he resisted, "Why can't I stay still?" But then, he shifted his approach. Instead of fighting, he simply watched each memory arise and fade, like scenes from a movie. In time, the images lost their grip and dissolved into silence. His lesson: when you observe without resistance, the mind naturally finds its balance. Modern psychology calls this meta-awareness, the ability to know that you are thinking. Research shows that this skill reduces anxiety, strengthens emotional regulation, and increases clarity. In brain scans, regions linked to fear quiet down, while those connected to calmness and decision-making light up. Just by changing the way we look at thoughts, we change our entire experience of life. Take a simple example: anger. Without awareness, anger bursts out in words or actions that hurt others and ourselves. But with observation, you pause. "Ah, anger has arisen." That pause creates space, and in that space, freedom is born. You can choose not to act from anger, but from wisdom. Observing the mind is not about suppressing feelings or becoming cold. It is about seeing clearly. By observing sadness, we see its root. By looking into fear, we realize it is only a thought, not absolute truth. And by watching the flow of mental activity, we stop being deceived by it. You can try this right now. Close your eyes and breathe. Let the mind wander naturally. When a thought about the past comes, label it gently, past. When a worry of the future arises, say, future. When an emotion appears, simply note, feeling, no judgment, no analysis, just observe. After a few minutes, you may notice that thoughts behave like passing scenes while you remain the silent witness. The Buddha once said, "When you see the mind, you rise above the mind." In other words, the moment you are aware of your thoughts, you are no longer controlled by them. It is like waking from a dream. Inside the dream, everything feels real, but once awake, you see it was only an illusion. Observing the mind is that awakening, right in the midst of daily life. And from that awakening comes freedom. Freedom from being a victim of anger, sadness, or memories. Freedom to act with clarity, to live with a calm heart. Observing the mind does not erase storms, but it gives you the strength to stand firmly, knowing the storm will pass. Principle 4. Compassion. When people think of mindfulness, they often imagine breathing, concentration, or quiet meditation. Yet the Buddha emphasized another essential principle: compassion, a heart of kindness that embraces both ourselves and others. It is strange, isn't it? Many of us find it easy to forgive a friend's mistake, but when we ourselves stumble, we are merciless. To others we say, "It's okay, everyone makes mistakes." But to ourselves we whisper, "I'm worthless, I'll never be enough." This lack of compassion for ourselves quietly deepens our suffering. The Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." True compassion begins right here, with the willingness to hold ourselves gently, to accept both our light and our wounds. For only when we can embrace ourselves can we fully embrace others. Think of the last time you were under pressure and someone simply placed a hand on your shoulder and said, "You've done your best. Rest for a while." Perhaps tears welled up because that simple kindness touched a place you had neglected, your own need for tenderness. Mindful practice invites us to whisper to ourselves, "It's all right, I am doing the best I can." These quiet words are like medicine for the heart. But compassion is not limited to the self. With mindfulness, we see that everyone carries hidden burdens. A person's anger may be the mask of deep hurt. Their selfishness may be the echo of never having been loved enough. Understanding this, instead of reacting with judgment, we respond with empathy. Modern science supports this ancient truth. Research on loving-kindness meditation shows that even a few minutes of practice each day can increase feelings of happiness, reduce stress, and improve relationships. Brain scans reveal that regions linked to empathy and connection grow stronger. Compassion is not just spiritual, it reshapes our biology. There is a story of a Zen master and his student. The student often blamed himself harshly for mistakes. One day, the master handed him a fragile glass cup. "See how delicate it is. One small bump and it may crack. Yet precisely because it is fragile, it is precious. Human beings are like this cup. When we see our own fragility, we learn to care. Compassion is this caring, a reverence for the vulnerability of life. Still, compassion does not mean indulgence or ignoring harm. True love is not blind acceptance of destructive behavior. It is courage to speak truth, but with kindness instead of condemnation. When a friend drinks excessively, compassion is not silence. Compassion is saying, "I care for you too much to watch you suffer this way." In daily life, compassion can be practiced through small gestures, listening without interrupting, offering a smile to a stranger, forgiving yourself at the end of an imperfect day. These acts, simple as they seem, ripple outward, widening circles of love. Here is a practice you can try. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and silently repeat, "May I be at peace, may I be safe, may I be well." Then extend it outward. May my loved ones be at peace. May all beings everywhere be at peace. In just a few breaths, your heart warms, softens, expands. Compassion is the bridge that connects mindfulness with joy. Mindfulness helps us see clearly, but compassion teaches us to hold what we see with tenderness. And when we live with compassion, the world outside may remain chaotic, yet inside there is a sky of peace. Principle 5. Non-attachment. One day, the Buddha held up a glass cup and said to his students, "To me, this cup is already broken." The disciples were puzzled, because the cup looked perfectly fine. The Buddha smiled. "I know that one day it will fall and shatter. So now, each time I use it, I treasure it as a gift, and when it breaks, I will smile." This is the spirit of non-attachment. Many people misunderstand non-attachment as indifference or coldness, as if it means not caring. But non-attachment does not mean not loving. It means loving without clinging. It means living, working, and caring deeply, while not chaining your happiness to outcomes or conditions beyond your control. Think about daily life. You work hard, hoping for success, but when results don't come as expected, disappointment crushes you. You fall in love, imagining forever. When change arrives, it feels like the world collapses. The pain doesn't come from work or love itself, but from holding on too tightly to a fixed image of how things should be. Non-attachment is the art of releasing that grip. It doesn't mean giving up. You still pour your whole heart into life, but you smile at whatever comes. Because life is impermanent, and much lies outside our command. There's an old Zen story. A student visited his master, carrying a cup of tea filled to the brim. The master quietly poured more tea until it spilled over. Alarmed, the student exclaimed, "It's full, no more can fit." The master replied, "Just like your mind, full of ideas, attachments, expectations, how can wisdom enter? Non-attachment is emptying the cup of our hearts so truth can flow in." Modern psychology echoes this. Research on attachment theory shows that people who cling rigidly to expectations often struggle with anxiety and disappointment. By contrast, those who practice detachment, not identifying with outcomes, tend to experience greater resilience and peace. You can practice non-attachment in small ways. Plant a seed and nurture it with care, but don't despair if it doesn't sprout. Share your thoughts with sincerity, but don't tie your worth to how many likes you get. Love someone deeply, but allow them the freedom to be themselves. Non-attachment also humbles the ego. The ego constantly seeks control, possession, affirmation. But when we release the need to grasp, we realize we are part of a vast flow, not the center of the universe. In humility, peace arises. Here's a simple exercise. The next time you feel yourself clinging tightly to a thought or result, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "I have given my best. The rest I release." That gentle act can open a space of ease inside. Non-attachment does not steal joy. In truth, it brings joy back. For when we no longer bind ourselves with chains of expectation, we are free to enjoy life as it is. Like a bird gliding through the sky, carrying nothing, yet savoring every beat of its wings. In freedom, unconditional happiness is found. Principle 6. Present awareness. Think back to the last time you were fully alive in a moment. Maybe it was sipping a warm cup of tea at sunrise, Maybe it was watching a child's laughter fill a room, or standing in silence as the sun slipped behind the horizon. For a brief while, you weren't lost in the past or racing into the future. You were simply here. That is present awareness. The Buddha once said, "Do not chase after the past. Do not long for the future. Dwell in the present moment." Simple words, but they point to the very root of happiness. The trouble is, most of the time our minds are everywhere except here. We replay old regrets or rehearse future worries. Outwardly, we may sit in a quiet room, but inwardly, our mind is a noisy marketplace. Present awareness doesn't mean forcing yourself to think only positive thoughts. It means noticing, here is a breath. This is the sound of birds. Worry just appeared in my heart. Awareness itself is like sunlight. It doesn't argue with the darkness. It simply shines, and things become clear. Science has confirmed this ancient truth. Researchers at Harvard found that when our minds wander too much, we are generally less happy. But when we anchor ourselves in the present, whether walking, eating, or breathing, happiness rises naturally. Mindfulness doesn't create extraordinary moments. It reveals the sacredness already present in ordinary life. Take the simple act of eating an apple. Usually, we eat quickly, barely tasting it. But with awareness, you pause. You see its colors, hear the crisp crunch, feel the sweetness spreading across your tongue. In that moment, you're not just eating an apple. You're touching sun, rain, earth, and the farmer's hands. You're touching life itself. Present awareness isn't confined to silence. It lives in busyness too. While working, rather than typing distractedly, bring attention to each word appearing on the screen. In conversation, instead of rushing to reply, listen deeply. That presence is what makes others feel truly seen and valued. Of course, no one stays mindful 24 hours a day, but each time you notice the mind has drifted and gently returned to the present, that is a victory. Like strengthening a muscle, awareness grows with practice. Try this exercise. Take 3 mindful breaths right now. Inhale and know you are inhaling. Exhale and know you are exhaling. Just 3 breaths. Yet notice how space opens inside you, how peace quietly enters. The truth is, the world may not change when you practice present awareness, but your way of experiencing it does. Life still has 24 hours, but each hour becomes more vivid, more alive. Awareness transforms life from a blur of rushing into a tapestry of richness. And in those ordinary, fleeting moments, sipping tea, walking, smiling, you discover the extraordinary gift of being here, now. That is the essence of present awareness. Principle 7, Awakening and Wisdom. The 6 principles we've explored so far are like stepping stones: breathing, observing, understanding, impermanence, practicing compassion, letting go, and living with present awareness. Together, they guide us toward the highest principle of mindfulness, awakening and wisdom. The Buddha was not a god handing out blessings. He was a human being who awakened fully. He saw clearly the nature of life, that suffering exists, that it has causes, that it can end, and that there is a path leading to freedom. This wisdom was not just philosophy, but direct experience, seeing reality exactly as it is. Most of us live under veils of illusion. We believe success will bring permanent happiness, that relationships will complete us, that money can guarantee safety. When those things inevitably shift, we feel betrayed. Awakening is waking up to the deeper truth. Everything is impermanent. everything is interconnected, and clinging only brings suffering. There is an old story about a blind man who was given a lantern to carry at night. He laughed. "Why would I need a light? I cannot see anyway." But the giver replied, "The light is not for you to see, it is so others can see you and not bump into you." Wisdom is like that lantern. It may not erase the darkness around us, but it illuminates the way we walk. Awakening means seeing through illusions in real time. You notice anger rise, and instead of being consumed, you recognize, this is a passing storm, not my identity. You watch sadness flow in, and you know, this too will leave. The more clearly you see, the freer you become. Modern science calls this meta-awareness, the capacity to know that you are thinking. This simple recognition changes everything. Instead of drowning in thought, you step back as a witness. And from that space, wisdom arises, the ability to choose consciously rather than react blindly. It's like dreaming of being chased by a monster. Inside the dream, terror feels real. But when you wake, you smile. It was only a dream. In the same way, life's illusions, fear, greed, anger, lose their grip when you awaken. You see them as temporary appearances, not absolute truth. Awakening does not mean escaping daily life. It means living daily life with clarity. Washing dishes, you know you're washing dishes. Comforting a child, you know you're giving love. Even in challenges, awakening offers a wider view. Will this matter forever? What choice brings the least harm? What reflects compassion? These questions are wisdom in action. The Buddha taught that each of us carries a seed of awakening, an inner clarity often hidden by confusion. Through mindfulness, the clouds slowly part, revealing the bright sky already within us. Try this reflection. The next time difficulty arises, pause and ask, is this permanent? Is it worth clinging to? And what response brings peace, not more suffering? These questions shift perspective instantly, transforming confusion into understanding. Awakening and wisdom are not far away. They are woven into every moment of awareness, every act of compassion, every breath taken with clarity. The more we practice, the more we touch this freedom. And ultimately, awakening is not about becoming someone new. It is about coming home to who you truly are, spacious, luminous, and free. We have journeyed through 7 timeless Buddhist principles of mindfulness, 7 jewels of wisdom that can transform the way we live. Each principle is like a doorway, and together they open into a path of inner freedom. The first principle reminded us to return to the breath, simple yet powerful, the bridge that steadies both body and mind. The second taught us to observe the mind, to watch thoughts and emotions come and go without being carried away. The third revealed impermanence, the truth that everything changes, and that change itself makes life precious. The fourth was compassion, beginning with gentleness toward ourselves and then extending love outward to others. The fifth showed us non-attachment, to live fully and love deeply, but without clinging to results or possessions. The sixth brought us present awareness, the art of dwelling here and now, where life is most alive. And the seventh lifted us to awakening and wisdom, the highest principle, the lantern of clarity that illuminates the whole path. These are not abstract ideas meant only for books. They are practices for daily life. When washing a dish, breathe and know you are washing a dish. When speaking with someone, be truly there. When sadness or anger arises, observe it instead of fighting it. When life surprises you with change, remember impermanence and let that truth guide you to gratitude. And above all, remember that mindfulness is not perfection, it is a journey. Each day you take even one small step, a conscious breath, a kind word, a moment of letting go, you are walking the Buddha's path. Over time, these small steps weave into a new way of being, where peace is no longer something to chase, but something already alive within you. The 7 principles are like 7 lamps lighting the way. Practice them gently, one by one, and you will discover a life more open, compassionate, and free. My friend, these 7 principles of mindfulness are like small lights guiding each step of your journey. Practiced with sincerity, they can bring you greater peace, freedom, and compassion in the midst of life's changes. Start with just one principle today. Let it be the seed you nurture each morning. Over time, you will see it blossom within your heart. If this message resonates with you, share your reflections in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and pass this video along, so together we can spread the light of mindfulness to many more lives.